for sure. Yep.
Hey, Deb, we got shooters. Where you at?
Where? Oh, sorry.
So this is a test pilot of the Essential Outdoorsman podcast that I've never done.
I like it.
But I set this channel up because I wanted to showcase local hunters and archers and all those kind of things, and I've just never done it. So figured I'd start with you and we'll give it a go.
Oh, I've been killing raccoons and squirrels since the early days.
Hey, we're recording a podcast.
He didn't pay money.
What do you need?
I think you shot it.
He didn't pay money though. So he's the first one.
The reason I did want to start with you though, our location is iffy, but because of distractions, but we'll get by.
Yeah.
But I want to start with you because you introduced me to hunting. Actually, all of the bow hunting I do, and actually the competitive archery I do, came from you and your dad.
By gosh, that brought a tear to my eye.
It really
Yeah,
did.
it did kind of did. Yeah, it would have been what, 7th grade, 8th grade?
Yeah.
7th, probably.
7th grade.
Yeah, so we always knew each other from softball area, Linville Slugger days, beating the crap out of each other for foul balls and home run balls. Then, yeah, so was it more of the 3D thing or just me sticking a deer here and there?
Well, when I met you, I still remember it because the night I met you, you came and you started turkey yelping and elk bugling. And I had been interested in hunting because of my uncles and all those things. But so I was just like drawn to that. So I knew of it. All my friends then were into sports and things unrelated to archery and bow hunting. But when you were doing that, you started talking about bow hunting. And I was like, yeah, I used to do that. You know, I used to shoot a bow.
Right.
I hadn't bow hunted at all, but you already were at that age, at
Correct.
10 years old.
Yep. Yeah, so it would have been, 2000 was the first year that I got tags or was at the 40-pound weight limit that I could yank back.
Yeah.
And I think I only weighed like 65 pounds at the time. But yeah, so you would have started, I do remember vaguely talking to you in junior high, where you would just go sit in tree stands before the school bus came and picked you up.
I forgot about that.
And you would just be like, yeah, I went hunting this morning, kind of,
Yeah.
spooked some deer,
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, because I moved to where my parents live now in 6th grade, and I didn't hunt or anything, but I would be out there like building forts in the creek and messing around and looking at deer. And I had a couple of old stands that my uncles had there, and I would climb into them and I would just wait for deer to show up. And I thought it was cool because, I don't know if they were this stupid or they were this used to me or what it was, but I would have like mature does at 10 yards, and wind didn't matter, scent control didn't matter, but they were just all running around. And I even had, I want to say the closer I got to actually bow hunting, like 130-inch deer that started showing up and doing that. And I think that was the first year I bow hunted because I was like, this shouldn't be too hard.
Should be easy, yeah.
Yeah, I know what's
Walk in
going
the
on.
park.
But yeah, you talking about that, like me and you going back and forth at school about what I was seeing, I was getting excited.
Yeah, because I always thought it was crazy. I wasn't fortunate enough to hunt close to any ground
Yeah.
where I lived. So then you, before school, you're like, yeah, I went out, sat in a tree stand today. I'm like, dang, did you see anything? You're like, yeah, 2 does. And then I heard the bus coming, so I got down and spooked them. And
Yeah.
that just was wild to me.
Yeah, there was deer behind the house.
Yeah.
And you had deer around, but
Nah.
it was always get a hold of your cousins and they take you
Yeah.
hunting. And
Yep.
so the more we shot the breeze about that, the more I got excited to try to kill a deer.
See, that would have been, so that would have been 02, 03. So yeah, I just killed, by that point, only 3 deer. I was fortunate enough to kill a deer every single year of my bow hunting career, except for 2000. And then what, 05 was your, or 04?
I started in 04 at that high country. So I had Uncle Jason gave me that old high country, and I had some Bass Pro arrows I think I bought with Burris money, and some Thunderheads, and we shot a little 3D I think with that bow. And so that's all I had. I wanted a Hoyt already. I wanted the Ultramag, which you bought in 04.
04, right.
And I was saving up for it, and it was $400. And I remember this because I saved up to $400.
They increased it $50.
The price went to $450.
Yep.
So that first year I hunted with the high country and shot a button buck 9 days into my first season, and then was buck hunting from then on and didn't do any good. But I bought that Ultramag in the summer of 05, and that was my first, felt more like my first real year of hunting. And I shot that a 5.1-year-old on October 2nd.
Yep.
So
Quick.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty cool time frame because like 2000 when I started, I mean, youth bows now are just as good as what me and you were shooting today.
yeah,
But back then, like I started off with a Golden Eagle Brave Warrior that you maxed it down was maybe 40 pounds.
yeah.
And then the first year that I shot something, I bought a Parker Challenger, and it was the same way. I saved up all summer till I
Yeah.
hit that $300 mark.
Well, that's a lot of money when you're 13, 14
Yeah.
years old.
Minimum wage wasn't quite so high then, and yeah, it was nuts.
But I remember your Parker because that was the bow that was your big move. Like once you got that, and we joked about this the other day, you had the albums of here's a raccoon I shot, here's a blue jay, maybe some illegal songbirds. No, your grandma would flip out about that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you killed everything that came through the yard with the Parker.
It was, yeah, I mean, now granted, I did do a lot of pellet gun killing as a youngster,
Oh,
but
that's true too.
then I was like, oh, you can do all this with a bow. And that's what really, I think, jump-started me for the love of bow hunting and then getting into 3D. I mean, it helps if you're trying to shoot a bird compared to a deer, that's a small target, and that was just an everyday thing. Like
Yeah.
literally every day. I don't know how many arrows went through that Parker, but
And you got that, I believe, before we knew each other, or right at the same time.
yeah, I would have had it 01. So it would have been 6th grade the summer before. I bought it in 01, and then October 6th, shot my first deer with it on my second hunt of the season there, like a 2-year-old 8-pointer or something. But
Yeah.
that was pretty neat because that year, the transition from 2000 to 2001 was dramatic. I mean, it didn't even look like the same kid out there just because I couldn't afford a rangefinder, so I had to get good on judging yardage. I mean, just the arrows, the bow, the equipment, everything like that, which we both grew up. Our parents didn't buy that stuff for us. Like, well, you want it? Work for it.
Yep.
And we did, and we appreciate the heck out of that.
You do appreciate it more. Like, and it's kind of funny because, you know, we have kids now, and I'm going to want to buy her all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I do understand why our parents said it. No, you know, first of all, they might not have had the money. I don't know. That's not the important part. But they gave us a lesson to learn. So I kind of want to keep that in mind with our daughters because, like, they do appreciate it so much more.
Yep.
And I think it makes you more excited to even be doing it. Because
Oh, yeah.
you're like, I earned this. I'm going to be using it.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, you take care of it a heck of a lot more. I mean, they're just ding,
Yeah.
unreal. Yeah, I remember going to because I mean back there we didn't really have websites you could order on, so you went to the archery shop and you ordered it. You're like, okay, it'll be in 3 weeks. And you're like, oh.
Do you
went
remember
home
how
and
we
you just
ordered things?
waited. Catalog?
Yeah.
I was gonna say mine was just through just telling them what I needed, draw length and draw weight and stuff, and then
Yeah.
I remember getting a paper receipt that they wrote on. And then it was a long 3 weeks. And any telemarketer that called the house, I was answering that son of a buck.
Yeah.
Is my bow ready? No? Okay.
I remember Keystone Bowhunting.
Forgot about that company.
Was that New York? Keystone, we should know that. I mean, there's a reason it's named. That's a geographical term, but that was my favorite catalog because they were kind of the Lancaster of the day.
Yep.
They had everything
Very,
for all
yeah.
bowhunting stuff. But I remember when I was mad that they took the order sheet out of the back of their catalog because you used to just have, it would be a SKU line. It was a normal invoice. And you'd find what you wanted, you write your SKU, the price, and send a check or a money
Yep.
order is what I would get. I didn't have a checking.
Right.
So I'd ask my mom to take me to the grocery store. I'd get a money order. I'd attach it to my catalog order, which
nuts.
it's crazy because, I mean, it means we're getting old, but
Yep.
it's 20 years ago.
And now you pull out your phone and Amazon recognizes your face, jumps into your wallet, and
I spend
it's
a
at
lot
your
more.
door in 2 days.
Yeah, it causes
Wild.
you to spend a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, Keystone
Good
bow
stuff.
hunting and eaters.
Eaters was one that my cousin Adam would always use all the time, which, I mean, him and Clint are the ones that got me into bow hunting. It's crazy. I mean, you continue this podcast or continue the interviews, you can start jumping through all them of what got me into it and got them into it. I mean,
Well, that's the point.
it's a cool chain of
Yeah.
bow hunting that all interlocks together.
Well, like I mentioned there when we first started talking, like that truly was the goal and why it's named Essential Outdoorsman. I had a channel I followed on YouTube called Essential Craftsman, which he is an older guy, an old carpenter, a retired carpenter, and he's a stud. but that's not the point. The point is he talks to all of the people that he worked with on jobs and how they are essential to society as craftsmen. And so I kind of ripped it off because I'm like, well, I think outdoorsmen, at least in my life, are essential for sure. So that was the goal to begin with, is to just say, okay, you, Adam, Clint, my uncles,
Yep.
you know, I'm talking
Jason,
Dixie,
David. Right.
all these people here that have kind of contributed to at least our small culture where we're from.
Sure. Yeah.
But that goes everywhere. I mean, the list is endless.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to showcase those folks because they're important.
Right. Yeah. Small town, famous.
Yeah.
Or small.
Everybody's
County
famous in a
famous.
small town.
Dang right. That's neat though. I mean,
So that's what I'm gonna start doing it. You know, I just gotta make myself do it. And it's awkward for some people to sit down and talk, but once you're shooting the breeze like we are,
easy,
it's
yeah.
fine. And we like to talk about hunting things, so.
yeah, every now and again.
But yeah, the other thing, and even with this, if you want to relate it to the podcast, like you didn't tell me I should bow hunt, but you doing it and me being around it rubbed off on me. And that's what I think is cool. You know, when people come across it and they hear somebody else excited, you don't have to say, you should try this.
Yeah, they're already, well, I'm past that. Yeah, I
They're
want
like,
to
oh,
try
that sounds
it.
exciting.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
that's cool.
But that's like, you know, obviously we're here right in front of Wolf Run, which has been on this channel a bunch of times, videos, you know, there's distractions going on all over around us.
Everywhere.
Steel targets ringing. But we wanted to do it here because this has turned into a hub of just awesome, like almost family as far as our tight group setting the place up. But then beyond that, we have 100 people here now today. And this shoot 5 years ago, if that, 4 years ago, we're struggling to get
15, yeah.
And so we've got 100 people, and it's not because we came in here and did something to revitalize the club. All we did was show up and talk to people.
Yeah.
And the more conversations that we had, just like this is exactly what we do sitting at these picnic tables.
Yep.
Has turned into, well, I'm excited. I'm gonna go back and talk about hunting next week or next month. And so with that, you know, then they've got friends, and then their friends like it, and then they've got friends, and word of mouth. Now we're at 100 shooters today with a couple hours left to register. I was bragging to Adam earlier. It's not a competition, but I take pride in the fact that this might be one of the bigger clubs in the state at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were flirting with it. Well, I guess 3 years ago, I guess, when our numbers started going on the uphill effect that we noticed.
Yeah.
And then last year was a very good year for us, and this year the same, if not better. I mean, you're always afraid you're going to hit a plateau and then start diving back off, but it just hadn't happened yet, and that's awesome.
No, I mean, we have the dips because of weather, and
Oh, yeah.
vacations are a big one, and things like that. But as a whole, it just keeps growing.
It's a solid club.
Our
Yeah.
average number now is pushing 100, it seems like. And
that's what a whole season would have been with prior.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's what you got to do, too, is just getting younger kids in it to keep it going. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Same with hunting. Every aspect, you just need new blood in there.
There's a bunch of kids running around today.
Today, yeah.
Little
last
kids.
shoot, noticed it was declined quite a bit, but yeah, they've made up for it this shoot for sure. So
Yeah, as they grow up, they'll do the thing that we did. Every kid does this, it seems, especially males.
we'll save that for Dixie.
They love it. Just like, so Dixie's been here for 40 years, since the club's been here.
Yep.
She watched us grow up, coming here, shooting 3D when we were like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah, 1995 was the first time I was peeking into that window.
Yeah.
With her behind the counter, dropped my name down in pencil on that scorecard.
Yeah. And we took a break. You know, you love it as a kid. You get up to 11, 12, 13, sports start showing up is the first big thing. Like, you just get busier.
Archery was our sport. We were ate up with it.
It was for us.
That was, yeah.
What happened around 15 years old?
Well,
Yeah, normal boy stuff.
yeah, 15, 16, once you got the license and
That's what it is. You can
Yep.
drive.
and then, girls kind of become a priority, and
Wasn't good at it, but
yeah,
tried for
we
a few
should
years.
have stuck with archery.
Yeah, I was always better at archery. And then you come back, you know, you get, really, most people get in their 20s. And I think that was the case for us. So you get in your mid-20s and you're like, what is actually important to me? And not that we didn't shoot, and we always hunted crazy.
Yeah, hunting never declined. We were still flinging arrows in our yards, but just making time to come down here and spend 2 hours, whatever. Just saying, oh yeah, can't make it. Or if we did, it was, you know, right before deer season. Think, man, we need to do that all year next year. And we just didn't.
Yep.
But
Yeah, you just find out, you know, you resettle in your 20s, and then now we're getting into our 30s, and we're just kind of, it's something that everybody's done before us, and I don't think about it while we do it, but even just I'll have little reflections like after the shoot driving home. And me and you have sat out here and talked about it. We're like, man, this place is beautiful, and it's so cool that we did grow up out here, and now we're the ones running the club, and it's doing well. And you should, I believe, step into that when you get some age and you get some maturity to you.
yep,
It's almost like a duty
yeah,
to pass it on. So,
100%.
yeah, I love that here.
Like I said, we've already got the little ones hanging around here. They've very common faces on shoot days and meetings, and so yeah, it's cool. I'm just building up the, like you said, the duty cycle for their time to jump in spotlight, and hopefully they love it as much as we do. I mean,
That's my next question.
asking a lot. I mean,
What if they absolutely hate it?
well, sometimes you just got to discipline. Yeah,
You're
that'll
gonna
be the
learn
weird
today.
thing. I don't know. You just want to, hopefully they have the same fire like you did. Just, man, he's really enjoying that. Hopefully I want to do that. I mean, not you have to do this, or, and I think that strays away kids more than anything, is being told they have to do something. They look at it as a negative rather than positive. So
I agree. I'm thinking about that already. I've seen that happen with so many kids in sports. You're going to be good at football, you know, and they're training them at 6 years old, doing drills, and the kid might love it, but just following that line of, okay, who's in charge here? Can't let the kid be in charge of their life at that age, but you can let them decide what they're passionate about. And if you try to force feed them, you're going to lose.
quickly, very
It's
quickly.
human nature to push against your parents a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That's like your dad. He never said, you boys are going shooting, but he was just there for us.
Well,
Yeah, he said, get up.
yeah, he was always early bird. I would never say, he never went with our, yeah, we'll get there about 10 o'clock, and that was maybe the second shoot of the day.
Yeah.
We do. But yeah, I don't regret it at all. I mean, him waking us up at the ass crack of dawn and getting us out there, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was worth it.
Those are great memories as a young man. I loved your dad's black and red Chevy, single cab bench seat, and us three stacked in there. And I don't remember who rode in the middle. I think we switched back and forth.
Yeah.
But he'd take us, and it was always, Beardstown was not the best setup necessarily, but it's the one that I really look upon and really loved it. I think it's because we went there so often.
Yeah.
They were
It was-
consistent. We
yep.
knew everybody there.
Them and Rushville and here. It seems like here didn't have as many shoots back in the day.
We
or
didn't come here a
something.
lot.
I know we did, but it seemed like Beardstown and Rushville are ones we pounded away at. And then we did, I just feel like they didn't have maybe as many. Maybe it wasn't monthly.
I almost wonder if they did, but they were on the same date as Beardstown. We couldn't make the drive in time,
Could.
where we'd hit Beardstown at 8, and when we got done there, we could run to Rushville if they were the same day, but we weren't going to make it over here to Root House.
And there was a few times that did happen where I know we'd shoot at Beardstown and make it here. I don't know, we never started off here. I don't remember the reasoning behind that, but
No. Yeah, just thinking back on those times, Rushville, Beardstown, Chatham. We went up to Canton some, I believe, and Ipava was one that I liked that we didn't get to a lot. Didn't last a long time.
yeah, that was, I think we only shot there, I only remember once maybe. I don't know if we shot
Is
there.
that all it was? It was
I know
legendary,
we
though.
loved it. Yeah.
I remember that's one I always think about because we're 14 or 15, and it was difficult. there.
Very.
You're shooting, grown men stuff. So,
And that's probably what fades array to a lot of our targets getting set out here is we enjoy that stuff where people, some of them just like shooting down a clear, wide open laneway, flat. That ain't us.
no, and that's the challenge of doing the club is you want to make sure everybody's happy when
It's a
they
good
leave.
mix, yeah.
But, and we've said it a bunch of times, nobody remembers the 20-yard deer target.
Yep.
They remember the 40-yard rabbit.
Yep.
Might
They
cuss at
10
you.
ringed, and my gosh, yeah, they'll hate you one weekend and love you the next because they were the only one that stacked it and all their buddies shot it bad or missed or.
If you can get
That's
a side bet going on your target, that means you set a good target.
That's
Like,
very good.
who can do this?
Yeah.
So if you keep that in mind when you set the target, like who's going to take this as a challenge, well, then that's going to be
For
fun.
sure. And it is a lot of work too. I mean, we're out here, well, some of us are out here
Yeah, freaking Adam. Oh, wait.
setting
Talking about me,
targets.
aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. No, we got a good group that works with it, and we try to mix up at least 15 targets every time, just so it's something different. So I mean, we have a lot of repeat people every single month. They're here at the same time, and so those are the guys you got to think about too. Like this course we have today is awesome, and they would do well in September because we're gonna have a lot of new faces. But for the 100 people that's out here today, we got to mix it up for them too. So it does take a lot of work, but and just not getting lazy and knowing that you need to make each target a pretty cool one, it makes a difference. But
Yeah. And I mean, really, it is a lot of work, but for a day a month.
yeah, it's not bad.
And to be honest with you, I used to treat it more of a burden before. Like that's become less of a burden to me now. I don't know why. But when we first started doing this 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, we just said, but I was like, man, we got work to do. It felt like more work. Now I think it's just because of the group of people and how we get along, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Yeah, we had to do a little policing early on and tread lightly because we were new.
We didn't want to push buttons.
We were the young guys, but we knew what we enjoyed, what we felt like a lot of others our age would enjoy. And yeah, it was a struggle, but like I said, now we're to the point. I mean, changed stuff around and got it to where we do our work the week before. So normally we would have set up yesterday. So we've just been gassed for today. Because there's times where it does. I have a storm roll through, you're cutting trees, moving brush, moving targets, and it's a heck of a day. All you want to do on Sunday is sleep. So
yeah, moving it a week before has helped too, I guess, because it just spreads it out. You're down here a couple weeks a month now, but I love the place,
yeah,
so it doesn't bother me.
I would say come down and mow it and then hang out and shoot, and it's a very cool property.
I promise next year we'll schedule around pro-ams in case I decide to do that, because this year it literally fell, every single pro-am was the work day.
Right.
And you guys have been really cool about that. You gave me a hard time, but you weren't really upset about it, I don't think.
Catch us in the heat of the moment, we might say otherwise, but
I'll have to get a picture of that.
oh, the donut, you're razzing you off down there on target one.
Yeah.
That should be good.
We'll have to remember that, because I know you're going to do something sometime, and we'll have to build something for you.
It's coming next shoot. I'll miss the work day 100%. So.
Where's your binoculars?
Binoculars. I have some hanging up right there behind my bow.
Yeah, so all 100% next one, because I'll be in Wyoming stalking through sage. So.
Yeah, and you leave the 31st
So 2 weeks from Thursday.
to hunt mule deer in Wyoming.
Yep.
For the second time.
Yep.
I saw your deer mount the other day. Remember we were talking about the size of it? You said it might be the smallest deer you've ever shot.
Yeah.
When I was spraying your house, it just caught my eye, and I was like, oh, it is smaller than I remembered. But it's still a mule deer.
Yeah, I'd say that one was a pretty rough unit. I didn't read as well into the regulations as I should have. Drew a tag very easily for whitetail only units everywhere through there. And the only units that I could find were open to buck hunting. Could not find a mule deer buck to save my life. And fortunately on this second to last day, stumbled into that rascal, and I was still tickled, man. It was a mule deer. But yeah, I'm hoping to improve a little bit on that one maybe. I'm not considering myself a trophy hunter by any means, but yeah, it was neat. Cool experience. I had my cousin from New York with me, and she's been on a couple elk hunts with me and stuff like that, but that was the first time we were successful on a big game hunt, so it was a wild experience for her too.
Did she get to pack it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep, it wasn't a bad pack out, but it was hot, so we had to really get to slicing and dicing, and that was just bizarre to a New Yorker that hadn't gotten meat that way. I mean, they go to the store and eat meat, but they'd never...
She'd never seen anything butchered?
No.
Not even a cow? Or...
Chicken, nothing. Like, that's what was shocking to me on it, but once she got over the shock factor, she was fine. But yeah, she packed out 2 quarters and
I'm surprised
Safety
she's
course.
not interested in hunting now.
She is.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe if she sees this podcast, she'll do
Jamie,
her hunter
hunt.
safety course.
Yeah.
She did the online portion one year, and all she had to do was go to the field portion of it, and she would add her hunting license.
Nice.
And she dropped the ball on that, so her online stuff expired. So
Yeah.
she's supposed to be doing it again, because I
Gotta
thought
start
even coming back to Illinois, she could hunt with me, or Grandma's got a lot of farm ground where she could hunt a doe, or even Wyoming, antelope doe or anything like that. It'd be awesome for her. So
Yeah, and antelope's not a bad starter hunt, which
No.
seems crazy to say because it for us was such a big deal to go do.
yeah,
But you can get a blind on a water hole, and you can get 20-yard shots still tough, but if you really did your homework and nailed it down, you could make it
you
happen.
could do it. Yeah, and it's her. I mean, she's never bow hunted, but she has shot a lot of firearms in her day. So rifle hunting, that'd be a good
Yeah.
way to go. I mean, and that's the cool thing with those tags. You get a tag, it's for that critter. I mean, you can bow hunt, gun hunt, whatever.
Those Western tags are interesting that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's, here's your animal, which actually makes more sense.
Much
Like
more
you're paying
from a
for
quota
this one animal.
standpoint. Yeah,
I don't care how you get it.
Yep.
Or when, really, because they
Mhm.
give you 5 months. Seems
Huge.
Like August to when.
Usually by November, stuff shut down.
Oh, is it that
Yeah.
fast? But yeah, just take what you need, and
Yep.
now there's different seasons for different weapons, but it's the same tag.
And we're two diehard whitetail hunters, because as soon as we are unsuccessful with a bow hunt, we never go back with a rifle, because
No.
Illinois whitetails, you can't.
I've never had an unfilled Western tag, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, you dog. Rado.
Oh yeah, Colorado, really, that was tough. Been to Wyoming twice, thanks to you. You hunted in 2013, I think, with an outfitter.
Yep.
And learned some things about Wyoming and antelope, and you're like, well, I'm gonna try to do this on my own. And basically, I just tagged along, killed an antelope.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that
you
was-
were. We always say you got stupid good luck, but I remember driving, getting I think you just sent a text in the group message of over your shoulder with a dead antelope in the back, and I remember us driving so fast because you got to see a dead antelope in front of us, because we were all unsuccessful with the guide, but that was awesome.
I think that was your exact words when you saw it. You go, so that's what they look like. And it was, I didn't do
Wild.
much to earn that. We literally saw a water hole off the road, and there was an antelope on the other side of the road. And we're like, well, they must be going there. And I'm like, I'll go there.
My spot, yeah.
So and it was so close to the road that I was worried about cars stopping and watching antelope.
Yeah.
My blind was maybe 80 yards off the road, but over a little hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was the first time I sat it.
It was that first evening, wasn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
I was there a couple hours and saw this buck come walking straight to it. Wasn't big, but he was an antelope buck.
Yeah. Legal.
Walked straight to it and hung out on the other side, like where I didn't hope he would be. So it was 55 or 60 yards. I can't recall. Long shot. And I was like, he's calm. I'm calm. I can make this shot.
Yeah.
So I draw and I shoot. And when the arrow leaves the bow, he heard just enough of that to take off running. And he started to turn 180 to leave. And by the time the arrow got there, it hit him in the throat,
Opposite side,
because that's how fast
yeah. And
they are.
done in no time.
I mean, it worked out great.
You watched him fall. It was
Could have been bad,
could have, but
but
yeah,
it wasn't.
It wasn't. It worked out well. Yeah, that was a good trip. 4 of us for what, a week?
Yeah.
75% success rate came back.
Yep.
That was not bad. Yeah.
3 antelope, and then, like I said, the second time I went with you again. That was 2018, and same deal. Like, you hooked me up. You knew everything, and we saw this antelope. He was out there.
Yeah, that was long.
That was your chance to stalk, because we rotated.
We had
stalks.
2, because there was 2 of them in there. Because
that
I
what it
took
was?
off. Yeah.
So we split up.
Yep.
Because we alternated stalks, because we drive around, find antelope, and we try to stalk them.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the most effective way, but it's worked. And so we were gonna both go, because you spied a buck and I spied this one, and this one was a long shot. There was not good odds.
Long ways off the road.
And so yours was kind of a slam dunk, we thought.
Yeah.
But I came back like an hour and a half later, and you're at the truck swinging your feet off the tailgate.
With a dirtied up broadhead that didn't hit flesh.
Oh, you missed him?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, because I remember you coming back up there, and you're like, how'd it go? And I said, you're missing narrow. And you're like, yeah, I got mine. I'm like, oh, I missed mine. And I didn't think you shot that one because that was a stud too. That's been
He's a
the
good
biggest
buck.
antelope that I've seen up close. I mean, that was a beauty of a goat.
And that was the first time I got to go quarter one up because he was a long walk, not a hard walk,
No,
just down a long drainage.
Yeah.
But I remember that because I came up to the truck and I just, for whatever reason, those kind of things imprint. And I just remember your feet swinging on the tailgate and you're making this face like obviously something went bad.
Yeah.
And you go, how'd you do? Because you didn't think I did it at all. And I just held my bow up and there was a bloody arrow. That's what it
right.
was.
Yeah.
And you go, are you kidding me? I go, nope.
That
So
was
we go
awesome.
hiking back in there and we quartered him up.
Good pictures.
Good pictures of him.
Did a little interview because you had your camera. We videoed quite a bit of that hunt.
I think that might be the first or second video on this channel before it was really a channel. Like I just carried a camera every once in a while and there was nothing of that hunt other than us kind of just documenting what we were doing. And I think we did get the pack out.
Yeah. I
But-
do remember filming some of that.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it was still
I
cool
didn't
to
realize
have.
that was your first quarter up.
That was my first quarter of it
Did
in
we
pack out.
pack out Cody's the year before?
I don't remember doing so.
We did the whole thing. We used fence posts.
We used fence posts with mine,
And then Cody's we did too. We
Okay.
packed the whole rascal out of that bottom.
steel T-post, and some noodles.
Pool noodles, yeah. We've come a long way since then.
It worked fine,
It did do well.
other than the guy with the head deals with a decent amount of weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be darned.
So that was what I
Neat.
thought was cool about that. And then
Yeah.
a couple
'Cause,
years,
Yeah, Illinois whitetails, you don't get to experience that at all.
yeah.
But
Well, we skipped over our 2016 hunt because that was 2 years before that. That was our elk hunt.
15.
Was it 15?
What did we do in 16? 16, I went back to Wyoming. I
Okay.
shot a buck that year.
So 2015, we went to Colorado.
Got our butts handed.
That was my,
That was
Western
fun. I'd do it again.
I would now because it's been pushing a decade and I forgot how horrible it was. But that, looking back, we covered some miles and some elevation, but we just had altitude sickness. I think is really what whooped us so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, we were extreme too. Thank gosh we didn't kill one back in there because,
We were screwed.
yeah, we would have got 2 quarters out and then hope to gosh we found somebody with a pack horse
Yeah.
because it would have taken us 2 days to get back up to it. But
But yeah, that was fun. I would do that again, just
Mm-hmm.
going out there and you're suffering the whole time. But that's, we've talked about that. That makes a good memory. Anything that's really, really hard while you're doing it.
in the moment it's horrible. But yeah, doing it now, like even, like, okay, playing rock, paper, scissors for that hotel shower when we got back after we went and got Wendy's after being on the mountain for 10 days. No shower previously, went and got our Wendy's.
Oh, that was so good.
Ah, it tasted so good. Then yeah, playing rock, paper, scissors to get our shower first. And then even then it's like, that wasn't that bad.
No.
It sucked. The whole time I didn't enjoy much of it. I mean, a few times where we took a break and ate a mountain house, that was all right, but
Well, it makes you really respect those guys because, people give, like the Cam Hanes thing a hard time, right? They're
Must
like,
be nice.
Over the top. Yeah, must be nice. What that dude does, go just walk up a mountain
yeah.
and then realize what he does. And then that's why he's successful because he'll even say that. He goes, what he tries to do is most people on a hunt are fresh the first couple days.
Right.
After a couple of days, they're making bad decisions because they're just done.
Gas.
And he just doesn't lose that.
No, not at all.
I got a lot of respect for those kind of guys. Sheep shape, all that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff you watch on TV, you're like, man, that's so cool. But just once you've kind of experienced a hair of it, knowing what it took to get into those locations that they do, wow. That just gives you huge respect right there, just thinking, gosh, the amount of ground they're covering and that altitude with that gear.
Well, our hunting
wild.
is so easy comparatively.
Yeah,
It's so easy. We walk a few hundred yards, sit in a tree for 6 hours, and
right.
we get tired doing that. Not
Run out of
physically
nutty
worn out,
bars.
but you hunt hard for a week in the rut, and you're spending a couple all-day sits. The energy that's taken out of you, I don't know if it's from just focusing on things, or if it's just from not moving your body. The blood flow doesn't.
I don't know. It's a feel like it's a mental strain than
Yeah.
anything, and it's crazy too, because like Wyoming season opens the 1st. I'll be getting out there that evening. Now, Illinois season opens October 1st. I'm not hunting all day.
No.
I probably won't even hunt mornings until the 25th,
Right.
but I will hunt all day, every day of Wyoming. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a different, I mean, here we're also fortunate with a lot of time that we can hunt.
We have the
And-
time, and there's also a different strategy involved.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying not to mess things up because we're not hunting tens of thousands of acres.
Right.
We're hunting a
In
small
7
piece, and we
days,
need to keep
yeah.
it together. Yeah.
We got 3.5 months to kill,
We don't want to blow
hopefully,
it up.
this deer.
Guys filming?
Yeah.
We are.
You just keep interrupting us.
Say hi.
Shut up, you guys are not.
Yeah, we are.
Well, then why must, oh, shoot. When they like shoot 5 or 6 times and they get it 5 or 6 times, do you write that number next to their name?
If they hit the dot.
Right, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you write.
Just put
X.
X5 next to it or whatever.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you did the count.
Yep.
Hey, we're filming over here, Deb.
That's Deb.
Yeah, once again, we do have some distractions.
Got
We got the
several.
steel target still ringing. But it's, again, this is what we'd be doing anyway, so
Yeah.
I figured it'd be a good pilot. We've been talking for a while, so we can shut her down, and it's starting to sprinkle rain.
It is. And we still got to shoot 30 arrows at targets before the end of the day. So
Well, let's wrap it up. I'll put this out there. I think it'll be interesting for us if nobody else, but again, this is kind of the point and kind of what I wanted to start doing is just backtracking all the people that mean a lot to me as far as outdoors go. And I think that'll be fun to have.
It will.
So I'll share it and keep
cool
it
to
going.
look back on in the future, and even updates throughout the season would be pretty neat too. Just talking to different people after they've been on 10 or
hunts.
15 hunts or stuff. That'd be neat.
And the people that, you know, there's people that listen to this stuff that have no idea who I am, you are, or anything like that. But I'll tell you, I've been to a lot of different places, hunting camps and campgrounds, where I love to sit there and listen to people blab when it's about
For
things
sure.
I like.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the case here.
Cool.
But we'll shut her down.
Good, man. That'll work.